everyone, bonus broadcast. We're going to hone your conceptual model of Arctic outbreaks today. And over the next 2 days, I'm going to walk you through the broad physical process. So you're going to hear from me many times and from some weirdo places. One of the things I learned from American weather broadcasters when I was in that game is this. When big weather happens, you got to be there. And I don't mean weather porn style, like the idiots standing in the waves and winds of a hurricane, or closer to home, standing by a big puddle when a rain warning is issued. No fooling. There was a notorious puddle in some farmer's field in Delta, and when I was at BCTV doing the nooner remote from the microwave truck, that's where the producer would send me, even in a marginal rainfall warning scenario. I mean, being there to provide updates in real time. I knew weather dudes at NBC in Detroit that slept in the newsroom to be there. When I was at VTV, I had the station set up a special camera so that when big weather happened, I could stay overnight. And the only other guy in the building past midnight, master control, could flick that camera on and we'd dump a commercial or two and roll live with a live weather update. Oh, the days of creativity in local TV news weather. Didn't last. Neither did I. And there might be a strong correlation there. I digress. Arctic front coming, folks. Here's what you're all going to experience for about the third or fourth time this year. I've actually lost track, but not before I ditched my suddenly lame hypothesis that about the only climate changey thing a proper meteorologist might say about BC weather is that we don't seem, recently, to be getting the kind of bitterly cold Arctic air we did 40 years ago. But after the past 2 winters, that hypothesis has been shotgunned out the window. An Arctic outbreak goes like this. Calm airs become a light northeast wind, slowly strengthening. The air gradually turns from coastal moist to continental dry, with sub-zero dew points. The skies go puffy with clouds, and the winds turn gusty as the leading edge of the coldest air reaches Whistler. Flurries develop wherever the front encounters leftover moist air. The visibility can go to zero briefly, 20 minutes to an hour or so, and cars start going off the highway and into the ditch at Sumas Prairie. In the local pandemonium, believers start attributing all of it to climate change. Someone screams, "How dare you!" After about an hour, skies clear, but the wind keeps blowing strong for at least 48 hours. Your nose gets very dry and your skin starts cracking. Believers encounter cognitive dissonance. If that was global warming, why is it so fucking cold? Remember Ruping Mo? He's a proper research meteorologist scientist at Environment Canada. Only you'll never hear from Ruping because he won't be allowed to speak about his research. Might not match the flighty, CN Tower climbing, slanderous minister's narrative. I digress again, but it's a Saturday, and as usual, this week left us with more stupid climate change commentary from the local media. Almost ruined my day at Baker. On Thursday, Pascal Hegeli, who holds the NSERC Research Chair in Avalanche Risk Management at SFU, was quoted thus. Hegeli said the extreme weather that comes with climate change is making snowpack conditions less predictable, something those of us who use the backcountry will have to get accustomed to when planning trips. Now, this is the second time in less than a year someone I know in the Avalanche game has been quoted thus, so I called Pascal, and guess what? That's not what he said. If meteorologists can't even tease out what's changed, if anything, how on earth could anyone downstream of weather tease it out? Enough said. I've shown you Ruping's 1K experimental model before. I'll leave you with yesterday's wind forecast from that model. Don't worry about the details. You'll make sense of it. That's what models are for, trying to make sense of physical processes. Some models are reliable enough to make useful, non-speculative predictions, but not climate models, which produce mostly junk.